Hello, good morning, and welcome to group exercise online with the YMCA of York in York County. My name is Justin. I'm an instructor at the Southern Branch YMCA, and we're going to be doing Tai Chi this morning. As always, I want you to think of Tai Chi as a moving meditation, a moving mindfulness exercise, rather than a strenuous workout. Just going to adjust my lighting a little bit there. I think that's better. So what we're really trying to do with Tai Chi is integrate body and mind, breath and balance, coordination and flow. So with that, we're going to be more about paying attention to our alignment and the sensation that we feel more than working out real aggressively. So we're going to start out in our Tai Chi Stand, so stepping out, balancing the weight over the feet. Let's just shake it out. Shake out the arms, bounce into the legs, loosening your lower belly muscles, and take a few deep breaths as we do this. So I want you to stay facing toward the camera. I'm going to turn toward the side, because we can shake here with maybe a little bit of bounce into the heels, but you can also shake in different areas of the body. I can lean back and try to shake the front of the body, letting the arms hang. I can lean the chest forward and shake so that the bouncing goes into the upper part of the shoulder and back. And you can play with that and lean to the side and shake to the side, trying to get into the areas that feel tight. So it's good to move around a little bit as we shake and see where you can shake into. You can also shake one leg at a time, just letting the foot, again, kind of dangle at the end of the ankle so that it's just flopping around, trying the muscle to shake around the bone. It's all about creating extra space, creating room for flow. And this flow can be flow of lymph and blood through the vessels, certainly trying to release any kind of constriction in the connective tissue or fascia. You can also lift and drop the shoulders up. Making sure that the knees are unlocked and that you're dropping into the heel so we're not putting any strain or pressure too much on one joint. Moving and stepping your feet a little bit wider, we're going to swing the arms around the waist. And again, adding a second swing to this. So starting here, letting the arms hang and just swing side to side. Again, letting one hand tap the front side of the hip, and the other hand tap the back of the hip as you swing. Our pivot really is like a golf swing where you're folding into the crease of the hip. And you can shift weight side to side here. Again, make sure you continue to do deep, full breathing as we do this warm-up. Letting the lower belly muscles relax. And letting the hands hang down from the shoulder. We're going to do a couple more and then slowly come back to a stop. But I do want to do the second version of the swing where we're bringing the hand up to tap the chest. So this will start out with our basic swing and then add a dip and extend. Basically, as I'm coming down, I lower, and as I come up, I'm letting that arm swing up and tap. So I dip and lift. And this I'm kind of getting the back leg into it too, pointing through the left toe and the right toe. Now you might hear, I don't know if you can hear my hand hitting the upper chest muscle. You can do it with a little bit of force. It should not hurt. Definitely not doing it hard enough to leave bruises. Just kind of hard enough to give yourself a thump on the chest. Releasing the shoulder joints. Okay, we'll just do this a couple more times. So I'm a real big fan of the shaking and swinging before Tai Chi. Even just a couple minutes like we're doing now can be good enough to loosen up. So this morning, again, we're going to do 3 basic Tai Chi practices. The first, we're going to go back to our first half of the Tai Chi Qigong Shibashi. So I think we're going to do more than 9 movements today. And that, again, can be a complete practice all on its own. The second practice that we're going to do is looking at different versions or different exercises we can do with the hook hand that we looked at a little bit yesterday. And then at the end, again, we're going to go through our 8 pieces of brocade, short version, so that we can just do a stretch out at the end. So starting with our Tai Chi Qigong with weight over both feet, but the feet closer together. I'm stepping out with one side. This time I'm using my left leg first. Balance the weight and shift to the center, sinking lower body down, and the upper body gently lifts. When I say upper body gently lifts, it's like you have something balanced on top of your head and you're trying to push it up towards the ceiling. It should leave a long feeling through the trunk and it's loose through the legs. Give me some space under the armpits and start with our Tai Chi Qigong with our paintbrush arms or commencement form. This is just the hands coming up in front and down. Focus on the breath first. Inhale as the arms rise. And exhale as the arms sink. And I do want to note that you don't have to go as slow as me or conversely as fast as me. Move with the speed of your breathing. Don't breathe with the speed of the movement. So whatever your inhale is, up, and whatever your exhale is, down. And that's one way we play with Tai Chi. So we have our first 2 rules to start with. Breathe and play. And again, I want you to stay facing towards your string. I'm going to turn. Starting with the lower body, again, we have rising up slightly as the hands come up and sinking down slightly as the hands come down. Make sure the knees don't go past the toes, so maybe sitting back a little bit as you lower down. As you start to develop your Tai Chi, you get a better relationship with the hips and the pelvis. So really what I'm trying to do as I come down is shifting my weight backwards slightly and tucking the hip under a little bit to engage the lower core and use the glute muscles there. I'm going to turn back. Let's do 3 more and then we'll move on. 2. One more time. Up and down. So our next movement starts much the same way. We're broadening the chest. So the hands start to come up, and then somewhere around shoulder height, we're going to open out to the side. Up and out. In and down. So I want you to think that you're moving the arms through water. There's a slight resistance as you come out, and as we come in, we're pulling with the inside of the wrist and forearm. And then down. So the fingertips just float behind. The lower body movement really is the same here. Just focusing on the lifting up and the tucking under of the hips as you come down. But slow and easy, up and out. In and down. So that's our third rule. We're going to go slow. We have breathing, playing, and going slow as our rules so far. So for the next 3 repetitions, I'm not going to talk. We're just going to breathe together and pay attention to how it feels. Our next movement, playing with rainbows. I'm going to dip my paintbrushes in the water and fan up and over. So left arm out, right arm over. So if you've done this with us a couple of times, you'll be familiar with this movement. So I'm not going to kind of go over the basics, other than that as you fan to one side, that arm should point toward the horizon, not let it drop. Again, shifting the weight left as I reach right, shifting the weight right as I reach left. And focusing on the breath, inhale as the arms rise, and exhale as you float to one side. Instead of cueing the same every time, I just want to remind you to stay mindful of feeling relaxed. So we're paying attention to staying as relaxed as possible through this movement. Just making it a gentle sway, like a tree blowing in the wind. So we're going to do two more, left, right, left, right. Remember also not to ever come to a complete stop. We have a slowing down where we switch direction and then go back the other way. For the last one, to the right. I'm going to leave my right arm out as I shift my way back to the center. When both arms are parallel and make a T, they drop, and we're crossing wrists. So the lower body for this one is the same as our first two exercises, with this kind of sink and tuck, and then lifting up, crossing the wrists and circling out. Again, we can play with how the arms turn. You see, as I come up, I'm kind of letting the arms come out and then turning the palms away, because that's what feels comfortable for me. I'm also going to switch which wrist is on top each time. So I'm really not counting number of repetitions here. We're just flowing. Once we've done the whole set and start to feel more comfortable with the movements, then I'll reduce it to the traditional number of repetitions, and the whole set will take about 15 minutes. But we're just getting used to these slow, gentle circles. And inhaling as the hands come up. And exhaling as you circle around. So let's do two more. And our last one. So the next exercise, spinning the arms around the waist, is a little bit trickier. We're just going to walk through it. Give the left arm straight towards your screen and right arm back, making a Y shape. With the right hand and push toward the screen, letting the left arm move out of the way. So right arm turns palm up, left arm palm up. Left arm comes in towards your cheek and push towards your screen, and the right arm moves out of the way. So we lift both arms, push right over left. Lift both arms, push left over right. So I'm not going to break this down. We're just going to keep it like this. So I lift both arms, push right over left. Lift both arms and push left over right. Lift. And as you notice, I'm sort of turned away from the screen a little bit. So my arm's really out to the side. I'm just turned back. And then bring to the right elbow and push towards the screen. Lift both arms, again turning away. And then push left over right. right over left, lift, left over right. One more time, both sides, right over left, and left over right. Bring both arms up toward the screen and floating down. We're back to an easy one, rowing the boat. So bring the arms up, around, in, and down. So I want you to think of your arms as oars, and you're rowing a boat through the water. So we're not really bending the elbows much, it's kind of rolling around the shoulder joint, lifting the chest, and sinking the chest. What you do that is lift the sternum up toward the sky, and then drop down towards your belly button. And this can be as big or as small a movement as you want. You're rowing the boat. You can do a big reaching circle or a small, but again, you have to remember to pay attention and stay relaxed. Let's get 3 more. One more time. And then we get to some of my favorite poses, the twisting ones. So I'm coming down and hold up the glass ball. I'm going to take the right arm and reach over toward my left. And again, just like I mentioned last night, we're being a long line from the right toes to the right fingertips, and then reach from left to right. So don't really force this. You want to keep just a very gentle extension, exhaling as we reach. And remember that both hands hold the ball so that as I reach my right arm across, left arm is tucking back. And as I reach my left arm across, right arm is tucking back. The other thing I'd like to point out with this one is watch your stance leg. So my right leg, the knee should be pointing toward my screen as I turn, or just directly over the toes, so you're not letting that leg collapse outwards. Just pull in toward the center a little bit. So we'll go 2 more. That's right arm across, left arm across, and then once more on both sides. Carry the moon. I'm coming down and make both balls into one big beach ball, and then carry the moon left, turning back over to the right. Again, left and right. We've done this one a lot. I'm not doing any stepping, just shifting the weight. Remember to relax the shoulders and elbows. And again, always let yourself adjust your stance depending on how it feels. So if you need to adjust in the middle of a movement, use that weight shift to help you do it. Let's go 2 more, left, right, left, right. Some of you may have caught me already and said, hey, you're changing the breathing sometimes. And that's okay too, because breathing is all about intention and choosing what feels better. So it's good to play with it. From here, going into brush, knee, push, I take my left hand down, I brush across, and right hand pushes after. Switch, letting the right arm fold down, left arm sweep up, and brush and push. Today, I'm shifting my weight. Brush left, push right, because that feels better. Switch, brush, and push. Switch, brush, and push. Right hand down, left hand up. Brush and push. And left hand down, right hand up. Brush and push. Again, keeping that idea of moving through the water. There's a gentle resistance. We're just going to do one more time on both sides, to the left and to the right. And then going into waving hands like clouds. Switch, brush, push. Waving hands like clouds. I'm going to turn my left hand towards my shoulder. And then just reverse the movement. Turn left, left hand down, right hand up, and turn to the right. Right hand down, left hand up, and turn to the left. Again, no stepping today, just shifting, switch, and turn, switch, and turn. Right hand down, left hand up, and turn. I think this is 9. We're going to do the next 3. So we're going to 12 out of our 18. Our next 3 are scooping up water from the ocean, wave on the beach, and flapping our wings. So we're going to do one more time, left and right. Turning to the right. I'm going to step my left leg forward, coming around, down toward the ankle, up the line of the leg, across the shoulders and opening out, up and out. And again, just like last time I talked about using this as a back bend. So coming up, kind of pressing into my right heel, maybe leaning the shoulders back, really just so you're a straight line from the left foot up to your shoulders. Not a real severe back bend, but enough maybe to feel that as a stretch through the stomach muscles and through the upper arms. So 3 more. Inhale up and exhale as you fold down. Really filling those lungs up with air. Last one, so I'm coming up. Now instead of folding forward here, I'm just going to bring the arms parallel to the floor, shifting my weight to my left leg, and wave on the beach. So I shift back and push out. Palms go flat, slide back, and push out. And upright trunk, tall to the top of the head. So 2 more. This is last one. I'm pushing out, and at the end of this push, just turn your palms to face each other, and then flapping your wings. So again, arms parallel to the floor. You shift back and forward. Rolling, so you're leading with the wrists here. Lead with the inside of the wrist as you come in, so trailing through the fingers, and lead the outside of the wrist. So you're really kind of flexing and rolling through the wrist and shoulder joints. So one more time, we go back, in, and then as you bring the arms back again, we're going to step in with the left foot and out with the right foot, scooping from the seat. So I'm coming down toward the ankle, tracing the line up the leg, up and out across the shoulders. Inhaling as we come up, And exhale, folding down. So imagine scooping water up from the ocean and just splashing it all up and over ourselves. 3 more. So again, last one, I'm coming up. Instead of folding forward as I shift to the right leg, just bring the arms parallel to the floor, palms flat. I'm a wave on the beach, so I roll back, push out, and palms flat. Exhale. Letting your breath be the sound of a wave on the beach. Two more. And at the end of this last push, turning your palms to face each other. Open back and in. Two more. So again, our last one, I'm coming in, and as I shift my weight back, I'm stepping in and letting the arms float down. Let's do one more before we end this set. And this is the last movement in the 18 movements. We're just going to pull up and push down. Pulling in fresh air. Pushing out old air. So you stay facing toward the screen. I'm going to turn. We're lifting up and pushing down. So practicing the rolling of the hands, making it as comfortable as possible. Three more. One up and down. All right, shake it out. We are going to take a little bit of a break, so if you need to grab some water, now's the time to grab it. If you need to stretch into the back or the legs at all, you can do that too. But again, we're going to do our 8 pieces of brocade at the end as a deep stretch. So our next set, we're going to be looking at hook hand and some of the things that we can do with it. Because it's a really kind of versatile tool. I like it because it involves a little bit more use of the hand and forearm than a lot of other Tai Chi stuff. So the first one we're going to do is a really easy one. I'm going to, again, reset my stance, starting close, shift to one leg, step out so we don't really need it, and then balance the weight over both feet. The first thing I'm going to do is bring my hands up and then fingertips together with the fingers pointing down toward the floor. So all of the fingers together like a closed flower petal. And I have the hooks on either side, elbows in and down. So this is a tiger pushing its cubs. I'm going to start to the left, push with the left hand, shift my weight left. So extending the arm, right arm just kind of pulls in as you push out. I'm going to drop the palm flat and come back to a hook as I come to the center and a slide, and then push the right hand out. So again, flatten, slide into the hook, and push. Flatten, slide into the hook, and push. I'm trying to coordinate left and right. Slide into the hook and push. Slide and push. So this is a good one to start with because we're just practicing making the hook. And as you get more comfortable with it, you can actually rotate that back arm in. So I'm rotating my right arm in a little bit. Just adding an extra element to the shoulder rotation there. Push out. Slide to a hook. Push out. Slide to the hook. And again, this is a really nice weight shifting exercise, left and right. This comes from a set called Dragon and Tiger Qigong. So we're going to do 2 more, starting with the next one. So we go left, right. Push. Then we're going to flex that wrist and then slide to the hook. Push. Slide. One more time, both sides. So push. Slide. So our next one, I'm starting, so this is called the clearing the belt channel. I'm going to have the hooks pointed in toward my shoulders, coming down to about the hip socket. We're going to go around, reach, so open hands behind the back, make the hook, and as you come around, you're lifting up. And then I'm just pushing toward the ground and exhale. So I'm coming up the legs to the hip socket. As I start to go around, I'm lifting onto the toes, grab the hook behind the back, come around, and drop. So I'm not really dropping my weight into the floor, is relaxing down and letting the arms make a flick. So coming up, around, hook, and then down. Inhale up, and down. I'm going to turn around, you can see from the back. So I'm starting to bring the hands up and around, hook, bring it around, and then drop. Up. I like this because we don't really do a lot of calf raises in Tai Chi. And this can actually help us keep the body stacked. So I'm, again, leading with the hips as I come up and drop. Up, lead with the hips, around, and drop. This is a good shoulder stretch. You notice I'm kind of leaning back as the arms come around. All of our stretches in Tai Chi are very gentle and subtle. Up and around, and drop. Also good breathing exercise. Let's do 2 more. Up and around, and drop. Up and around, and drop. So this next 3 that we're going to look at are more extended stance. Let me come up a little bit. So we're going to do single whip, snake creeps through grass, and then as our cool down, we'll do gathering starlight. So single whip, I'm starting out with a hook on the left, and I'm going to loop and push. So I'm going to build a full single, because right now, both feet are facing toward the screen, and I'm just shifting and pushing. My left arm stays relaxed, and the right arm comes down, hook, push. So we notice that when I'm shifting left, there's really not a lot of weight on the right leg. And the first thing that we can do As you shift left, and I'll count us down for this, is turn the toes of the right foot out. Shifting, and we'll go 2 more. One more time, all the way just like this. And on our next one, so I'm coming in and lifting the right toes, and then as I shift, I'm just turning out so that there's no weight over the leg as I turn. Now we have a larger rotation. I'm turning toward the screen as I come back, and I'm turning away slightly as I push out. Now this can be a good single whip, and you can stay here if you're comfortable. But if you wanted to go further, just like we turn the toes, you can actually step that foot farther away as part of that weight shift. So let's keep that flow. And again, if you're ahead of me, that's fine. If you know what's coming, just do it. But let's go 2 more. And if you're going to join me in this, we're going to come back, step, and then shift the weight. So now you have a more extended single whip. You never want to go so far that you have to lean. You always want to keep a long spine, but it certainly can be more of a workout this way. So from here, we're going to go to snake creeps through grass. Now, this is going to really depend on your stance for how low you're going to go, because you're always tracing the line of the leg with your hands. So let's go 2 more, single whip, push. Last one, push. I'm stopping at the end of this push and reverse the movement. I come up and down, sweep the line of the leg, and then up. Pat down, sitting back, sweep the line of the leg, and then up. So this left arm just kind of hangs out here, staying relaxed. And also that left arm you need to pay just as much attention to make sure it stays relaxed. So one more time. Up. Release the hook and lower the hand. So I'm not going to do any fancy thing today. We're just going to come back and start on the other side. Because this is about playing with this hook hand. So starting with single whip, right hand makes the hook. My left hand's going to push, so I loop and push. And both feet, toes pointing towards your screen, towards your computer. I'm just shifting the weight. So give me 3 more, and then we'll turn the left toes. The last one, go ahead and just do it normally, just like this. And our next one, we're going to turn the toes out. Now for this one, I pretty much am doing a 90-degree or right angle between the right foot and the left foot, because my weight's really only ever over one leg. I'm here, and then as I turn, I'm shifting the weight to the left leg. And this way, the knee's never being rotated. And again, you can stay right where you are. If you wanted to go farther, let's go 3 more. And if you're going to, you're going to shift back, step out, and then push. But still, again, most of the weight's always over just one leg here, so that you're not worrying about the knees too much for that rotation. One more time, and then we'll go snake creeps through grass. I'm coming around, push out. Reverse, come up over the top and pat down. Trace the line of the leg and lift. Think back. Trace the line of the leg and lift. Think and up. Two more. Last one. Again, just release the hook, lower the arms, and step in. So for our last one, I want to do one that's a nice cool down, has a really nice rhythm to it. Gather in starlight. So again, I'm going to reset my stance. And let's just set up our position. So I'm going to go right leg, toes out a little bit, left leg, toes up. So I have room to shift comfortably. Right hand, fingertips come together, make the hook and go over the lower back. And I like this because in the shift forward and back, you have this kind of gentle stretch of that back arm. So starting out with the left hand just forward and back at the height of the belly button. And then I'm going to start turning out to the left, circling around and in toward the belly button. So around and remembering to breathe and go slow. Play with the movement. Try and get that movement all the way down to the wrists and fingertips. All the way around, and then we're going to move it up to the level of the heart and the level of the shoulders. So come around. And remember that right hand stays in that hook hand, that beak hand. And moving up to the level of the forehead. And then we'll circle around. And last, reaching up, gather in starlight. So coming all the way down, once to the forehead, once to the chest, and once to the belly button. Not rushing. Know where we're going. And then one more full circle all the way around, stepping in with the left foot. I'm going to hook my left fingers and put it over the lower back. Right foot steps forward. And just test your stance here, forward and back a little bit to make sure it's comfortable. And then starting out with our sway, forward and back. Right arm out. One more time, forward and back. Circling around to your right, into the center. Just breathe. And moving up to the level of the heart. And moving up to the level of the forehead. So I'm not getting a lot of cueing for this one because we've done it a bunch. And I want you to just kind of feel your way through it. We have our last set after this, or 8 pieces of brocade, and that's going to be a little bit more detailed. Let's go ahead and move it up, reaching for the sky, gathering starlight. One more time, and then we'll bring it all the way down, once to the forehead, once to the chest, and once to the belly button. Not rushing. And then all the way around one more time for one final circle, stepping in with the right leg. All right. Shake it out. And that's our time for our second break between sets. And again, any of these sets can be done on their own as a complete practice. I think our first one was about 30 minutes long. That one was 15. And this last one was about 15. Almost exactly, yeah. So, when you're ready, again, I'm just going to walk through this a little less specifically. I'm going to do 3 repetitions each. So starting, opening the hands, interlace the fingers, and I push the palms toward the ceiling. You can come up onto the heels if you want. Dip down and lean left, stretch through the wrists. Dip down and lean right, stretch through the wrists. Come back to the center and release. So I open again. Interlace the fingers, palms to the ceiling, big stretch. Dip down and then lean left and right. And all the way down. One more time. So go open, interlace the fingers, and press up, big stretch. Dip down and then lean left, and dip down and lean right. Coming back to the center. So the next one, you can stay here. You can do a mini horse or a full horse, but we're stretching out. So I'm going to do draw the bow, left and right. I started right yesterday. We're starting left today. So I come down. I'm going to cross. I don't care which over which. So push left, pull right, flex that wrist, and release. Cross. Again, push right, pull left, and release. So again, as I push left, I'm really trying to flex that wrist to a 90-degree angle, and the right hand just comes back to the shoulder, and then release. So cross. Again, really trying to flex that right wrist. Left hand goes back to the shoulder and release. One more time, both sides. Push and pull. Stepping in, holding the ball, left hand on top, right hand on bottom. separating earth and sky, or separating heaven and earth. I'm going to push my left hand straight down, right hand straight up, push and stretch. Down, left hand up, right hand down. Again, try to really stretch those wrists. So I sink the whole body down and push up, stretch from the heels through my right wrist, push. So treat this as like a good morning stretch and push through the feet as you push that left hand up, push, stretch. So one more time, right hand up, left hand down. And left hand up, right hand down. We can look at this more in detail in another video. So come back to the ball, left hand on top, right hand underneath, and release. So our next one's turning the head, and just from our Tai Chi position, go left as you exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Again. And one more time. Left. Inhale. And right. The same piece of brocade or changing position. Again, hands in your lower back, elbows and shoulders back, and weight forward. Gentle stretch across the front of the body. Same thing from here. Keep those elbows working back. I'm going to turn left, center, and right. And two more. One more time, both sides. Last version. Again, tucking the hips under to flatten out the back. I drop the chest forward. So it's hips tuck, chest drop. Palms lift. So we're going to this slightly forward hunch position. And then left and right. One more time, both sides. Back to the center. Sway the head, wag the tail. So the hands are really on the top part of the thigh. So my belt line's up here. My hands are on the top part of the thigh. I'm going to do a slightly wide horse. You don't have to squat down, but just knees wide. So I'm going to start, drop the chin to the chest and look up and over the left shoulder. Up and over. Extend to the right side, lifting the chest. Come back to the center. Turn to the right. Again, pointing through that left toe, extending to the left side, lift the chest. And again, both sides. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Inhale. Exhale. Back. Rolling up and step in. So our next one is, grabbing the toes. So I'm going to turn, you stay facing towards your screen. We're going to start by letting the hands float up to about shoulder height. And then hinge forward. Hands come to the shins, ankles, feet, or floor. I'm going to look toward the horizon. Flatten the back. Stretch down the legs. Lower down. Drop the head. Drop the hips. Tuck and roll up. Head and shoulders coming up last. And always pause there for a second. Let the hands come up. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Lower down. Rolling up. And head and shoulders. I'm going to slow this down and do it with the breath a little bit more. So slower breath on this one. When you're ready, float up and forward. Lift, lower, roll up, and head and shoulders. Next one, again, going out to a slightly wide horse stance. Thumbs inside the fist, right at your hip socket. So I'm going to punch left and right, coming up, around, out to the side, squeeze or point the knuckles away, pulling that right elbow back. Punch right, pulling the left elbow back. And you're kind of tensing that arm is what I mean when you stretch it out. So left, and right. And one more time. Stepping in. And our last one, rocking the bubbling well. So from the Tai Chi stance, first 3 breaths are just shifting toward the toes and then away from the toes. So from here, space under the armpits, you go forward and back. Forward. One time. Second position, hands to the lower back, shifting forward. So this time I'm going to lift off at the heels as I inhale and lower down as you exhale. Light stretch across the front of the body, coming up and down. Third position, hands make the circle and I'm slightly forward. This one's a tense and release. I want to lift up and tense and release. Tense. Shake it out. Loosening everything up. And we're going to end our practice there today. So ending with a Tai Chi bow, the feet closer together. Left hand makes a C shape, right hand underneath, making an A. Bow toward the screen. And as we come up, tap the fingertips to the legs. So bow and tap. So again, thank you everyone for joining me from my living room to wherever you're watching from. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share wherever you share on social media. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. And hit the notification bell so that you can see when we're uploading other stuff. I'll probably have another Tai Chi Academy video up this week. My recording schedule got a little messed up last week, but we will do that on a weekly basis, uploading till we get our whole form. So again, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week and are able to take some of this flow with you through your day. Thank you very much.